Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. UFC London this weekend. I can't help but think Leon Edwards has been a little bit ripped off in this whole situation. Supposed to fight, I think, someone in Jack Della Maddalena. Obviously a very exciting striker. Loves fighting out of the boxing ranges. But I think someone like that, Jack Della Maddalena, and his style would have offered Leon, of course, a hard fight, but something that he could really show parts of himself where he doesn't usually get to in these wrestler-heavy matchups. In steps in Sean Brady. Now, a crazy turn of events. Obviously, JDM is stepping in and fighting Bilal for the belt. Obviously, Leon Edwards wants that one back over Bilal Muhammad. But he's going to have to go through a really, really tough prospect in Sean Brady. Someone who is, like I talked about, very, very good grappler, great wrestler, very good jiu-jitsu on the ground. You know, this is someone who technically beat Craig Jones in a jiu-jitsu match. He didn't sub him or anything, but stayed safe enough to win on the points against Craig Jones, which is nuts. You know, it shows his level on the ground. Now, Leon Edwards, as an MMA fighter, is sort of tailored to this matchup. Like, he has fought guys like this at the elite level over the last few years now. Kamaru Usman twice, Colby Covington, Bilal Muhammad. Like, the list goes on of wrestlers that Leon Edwards has had to prepare for during his fight camp. So, although it is a very late notice switch up into Sean Brady, someone who is the opposite of Jack Della Maddalena when it comes to that style, I don't think he's going to be too out of his depth. And I think he's going to bring in a lot of confidence into a matchup like this in his ability to shut down Sean Brady's game. Someone who is, you know, coming into this fight late notice, did not have a fight scheduled. That is going to be playing on the mind of Leon Edwards, I'm sure. Someone who is very conditioned, has gone the 5 rounds multiple times in his career, and is used to fighting in main events. Sean Brady has tasted that for the first time recently, you know, getting that one over Gilbert Burns, but this is a different level of opponent. Leon Edwards has held the belt, defended it. You know, he has a lot of experience up there at the championship level. Now, this matchup, when we look at it, I think Sean Brady is going to be up against it here. You know, Leon Edwards, although he looked really flat in his last performance, I think Bilal Muhammad did a great job really stifling Edwards' game plan. I'm not sure if Sean Brady is going to be able to implement a similar sort of tactic. Like, Bilal Muhammad has an incredible gas tank. And the pace he put on Leon Edwards in that fight was something to behold, you know. Like, I don't know if Sean Brady quite has that pace to be able to do that to Leon Edwards for 5 rounds. And Edwards is someone who is so good at measuring, keeping on the outside of his kicking range. Great takedown defense against the cage, you know, really crafty in the clinch as well. Took down Kamaru Usman. He's a really, really underrated grappler himself, especially in that jiu-jitsu range. So I think it's a really, really tough fight for Sean Brady. I know Leon Edwards is getting overlooked, written off a little bit after that last performance, like I spoke about. But the guy is a really, really elite fighter, someone who is super well-rounded. And like I said, has seen this style in Sean Brady. You know, not exactly the same, obviously, but seen a similar wrestler sort of brawler style. So interesting fight, but you have to favor Leon Edwards here at home. You know, he doesn't have to fight at 6 a.m. as well this time. Like, a lot of factors were going into that last performance, I think. But yeah, he gets the opportunity to right that wrong, and just come out there and be proud of the work he puts out, you know, because you could tell that last one really left a bad taste in his mouth. Now, this co-main event is very intriguing. Jan Polish Power Blachowicz is returning and taking on the surging Carlos Ulberg. I think this fight is going to take place on the feet. You know, I think Jan has the ability to mix it up, takedowns as well. Like, he was the first man to hand Ulberg's teammate Israel Adesanya his first defeat in MMA. So The guy is very, very good on the ground as well. Was able to take down Alex Pereira in their fight. Jan is a former champion in this division. He's fought the who's who. It's never always gone his way. But he, like I said, has that beautiful Polish power. Like, he cracks. And I don't think, although Carlos Ulberg is definitely probably the more technical kickboxer, I think Jan Blachowicz has enough prowess on the feet there to make it really dangerous. So I think Jan, his ability to check, like those shins of steel, man, he just commits everything to those leg kicks, does not care if you check. And yeah, like I said, he's just fought the who's who in this division. He's coming off a long layoff, a few injuries, and he's older in his career. So yeah, it's that crossroads matchup. Carlos Ulberg, like I said, surging, coming up, finding his own, coming off that performance against Volkan Oezdemir, someone again who's fought a lot of top guys at light heavyweight and was able to fight him, very smartly. And he showed, composure in that fight. Showed how far he's come since his debut in the UFC. So really, really intriguing fight. I'm so excited to see Jan back. What do you guys think about this matchup? Do you think Carlos Ulberg's striking, dynamic speed, power, like the guy is very athletic, you can tell, very seasoned kickboxer, and gives a lot of guys issues in those ranges. Jan Blachowicz, someone who is very calculated in everything he does, and has a great ability to stay safe, when he's fighting smart. So I just think the age, the injuries are really, really big questions going into a matchup like this. Kevin Holland, quick turnaround for that RDR fight. That one, you could tell, would have pissed him off, man. He's coming in here against another grappler, someone, again, coming off a long layoff. Gunnar Nelson, 10 years ago, was a big prospect in MMA, man. Like, a lot of steam and hype on his name. I just remember back to that Ponzinibbio fight. He got really hard done by in that one. Nonetheless, it's shaped out the way it has. Kevin Holland, someone who is much more active. Although he is so up and down, like I could easily see him going out and getting submitted in a fight like this. I just think that freshness, him wanting to bounce back so quickly, I think it's a really tough fight for Gunnar Nelson. I just think the ability Kevin Holland has to put you on the end of his punches, the range is great. And I love seeing him back down at 170. Enough with this middleweight stuff, man. Like, yeah, 170 is the weight class for Kevin Holland. And hopefully he comes in disciplined, focused, and ready to put on a good performance. Because if he does, I can see him, cleaning up the chin here of Gunnar Nelson. Someone older, been damaged, taken a lot of damage. But with all of that being said, like, Kevin Holland is so up and down. He can look like a true title contender one fight and then make some really, really poor decisions in the octagon and just pay for it, man. Like, it's someone who almost doesn't believe in himself reaching that pinnacle. Like, he gives himself an out by default. And I think that really hinders him from reaching that potential, like I said. But regardless, big fan of Kevin Holland. Regardless, like I said, if that's the best, most wise decision for his career, a fan favorite for sure. So good to see a live UFC event back. Like I said, and we've talked about, the energy is just different with a live audience, and you feel it in the fights. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please let me know who you're looking forward to. Whether this new matchup in the main event has taken away a lot of steam and excitement. But regardless, like I said, I think this is a really, really solid card. And those top 3 fights are absolute bangers. Thank you guys so much. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And we will chat soon.